If you are sleeping for less than 7 hours a night as an adult, you may be cutting your life short. That's a strong statement, right? I'll tell you why I say so. A lot of people sacrifice their sleep time in the name of productivity, but they don't actually know that they are harming themselves. My name is Dr. Anokute. I am triple board certified in internal medicine, obesity, and sleep medicine. And my channel is about sleep issues and what you can do about them. So let's talk about sleep deprivation. Now, for the sake of this video, 7 hours will be the number of hours that I will be speaking about mainly. But the number of hours recommended is age related. And so I also made a video on that as well that I'm going to link in the description box. But because I'm speaking to adults today, I'm going to be using 7 hours a lot. Now, let's talk about statistics a little. Do you know that 1 in every 3 adults in America is sleep deprived? And by that, I mean that they are sleeping for less than 7 hours a night. So sleep has changed a lot. In the 1960s, the average sleep duration was about 8.5 hours. As of 2021, the average sleep duration was noted to have dropped down to 6.5 hours. And where are we again? We're in 2024 going to 2025. Who knows what the hours are currently? But that is to say that over time, our population has been cutting back on sleep hours. And so we're going to talk about why this is a problem. So let's talk about number 1 item. So the first item on the list is obesity. Obesity, right? Let me give you some statistics on obesity. So by 2030, it is estimated that 50% of the world population will be obese. 50%, that's huge. That's really where we're headed in 2030. And I hear a lot of people, they say, I don't eat a lot, but I just don't understand why I'm still gaining weight. And I ask more questions about their diet, and indeed, they don't eat a lot. But then when I ask them, how many hours of sleep are you getting? That's where the problem is. Many people are sleeping for 5-6 hours, some even less than that. And that's a problem, and I'll tell you why. So when we are sleep deprived, there are levels, there are hormones that rise in the body. Number 1 of that level of that hormone is ghrelin. Ghrelin is one hormone that increases appetite. And with an increase in appetite, you can expect that you will definitely eat more. So number 2 item is diabetes. You knew that one was coming, right? So now, I wrote down the statistics of diabetes. So let me see what I even wrote down. So about 38 million Americans have been diagnosed with diabetes, and 97 million people already have pre-diabetes. Those are huge numbers, guys, huge. And so I'm going to tell you what the relationship is between sleep deprivation and diabetes. So again, the same pathway, right? Levels of ghrelin and cortisol this time would rise in the body from sleep deprivation. Ghrelin would increase your appetite. Cortisol on its own will cause weight gain. And so these two together will cause you to gain weight. And from weight gain, there will be you're at risk of diabetes already. And diabetes is so common. I see it every day. So I tell you, the history, when we take history, it just starts at a 57-year-old male with a past medical history of hypertension, diabetes. It's just like everyone has it. And so when people don't have it and they come, you're almost asking, you don't have diabetes? And it should not be so. It should not be so. There should not be so many people diagnosed with diabetes, but that's really where we are. And we're finding that sleep deprivation contributes to development of diabetes. And even for people that already have diabetes, there is significant difficulty controlling their blood sugar when they are sleep deprived. And diabetes is linked to so many complications down the line. We're talking about strokes. We're talking about cardiovascular problems like heart diseases, heart attacks, amputations, neuropathy, eye issues, skin problems. The list goes on and on. I recently came across a study that showed that people that are sleeping for less than 7 hours a night are 1.7 times more likely to develop diabetes. People sleeping for less than 5 hours a night are 2.5 times more likely to develop diabetes. So we now know that a good place to be to prevent diabetes is between 7 and 8 hours of sleep. It's also a good place to be for better glucose control if you're already diabetic. The third item on the list is hypertension, elevated blood pressure. And how does this come about with sleep deprivation? So when we're sleep deprived, the body is forced to always be in a sympathetic state. And by sympathetic state, I mean like a fight and a flight response to things. So it's like a heightened level of response to things going on. Also, there's elevated levels of cortisol that can increase blood pressure. And so that's really how blood pressure stays elevated. Now, when we sleep, the body takes its time to lower the blood pressure, lower the heart rate, and that's really what happens when you get good, refreshing sleep. But if we don't get enough sleep, and again, like I said, I'm using 7 hours for adults, the body won't get the time to lower the blood pressure and the heart rate, and so eventually you will develop hypertension. And same goes with uncontrolled hypertension. It becomes difficult to control your blood pressure if you are not getting enough sleep. Now, the next item on the list is cardiovascular problems. I'm talking about heart issues, myocardial infarctions. Interesting. And I want to say this. Study has shown that women are more at risk of cardiovascular problems related to sleep issues like sleep apnea. So, how does sleep deprivation lead to heart problems? It can happen from elevated blood pressure, it can happen from inflammation, it can happen from elevated hormones in the body like cortisol, it can happen from other things like lipid buildup with eating more than is required, and that's all related to what ghrelin rise during sleep deprivation. Now, study has shown that people that are sleep deprived are 200 to 300 times more likely to have a cardiovascular event in their life. That's huge, guys. I can't even, can you beat that? 200 times to 300 times more likely. So this is a problem. And that's really why we're talking about sleep deprivation today. Now, next item, but not the least, is mood problems. This is huge. Currently in the world today, we're dealing with a lot of mental issues. I'm going to speak specifically about depression today, or in relation to sleep deprivation. So when you don't get enough sleep, you don't even have to be depressed. You can tell you just feel irritable. You're just not in the best place to relate with people. You're just not yourself. Why? Because when you get refreshing sleep, your body is refreshed. It's just simple as that. But when you're sleep deprived, you wake up irritable, and over time can lead to depression. In a study that was done by Johns Hopkins University, they found that healthy men and healthy women who had sleep interruptions had a 31% reduction in their moods the next day. And so that's really how much not getting enough sleep for one night can do to you. Now talk about chronic sleep deprivation, which is really what we're finding that is very common in our population today. And so I've listed these 5 things, and like I said, the list is endless. I can't even begin to name other things like going into having a motor vehicle accident because you're sleepy and because you didn't get enough sleep. Different things that can happen if you're sleep deprived. But these 5 things were the really big ones that I found that I wanted to share with you today. I want you to save a life by sharing this video so people can know what they're really putting themselves at risk of by not getting enough sleep. I know that things are it's hard to get your work done and all of that, but the other way around is actually through. When you get enough sleep, you tend to be more productive. Now, I want you to share with me in the comment section what you think about sleep deprivation. Has it helped you? Has it affected you positively, negatively? But in the long run, I want you to know that there are medical problems that you are at risk of if you're not getting enough sleep. And if you're wondering, oh, I'm not an adult, how many hours of sleep do I need to get? There's a video that I mentioned earlier that I would put in the description box, and it's the title is 6 hours of sleep really enough? Watch it and get to know how many hours of sleep you need to have. I think that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. Thank you, all my subscribers. I'm here for you, and I want you to live a long, happy, healthy life. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.